Steve Post, Motor Racing Network. Denny, over the evolution of a 400-lap race here, how much does shifting play into this thing? Does it evolve? Does it change? I know we've talked so much about shifting and how we maybe would prefer it not be the case, but how much does it evolve over the course of a run here, and how can you use that to your advantage as a racer?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think everyone probably uses it equally, like 100% of the time on restarts. Like the first couple laps when you're side by side trying to battle for position, you're trying to get the best run you can off. As it gets single filed out, then it's kind of driver preference and car preference. I think each driver and car wants something different at certain times, and so I think you'll see really guys that probably will be battling 30, 40 laps in a run. One might be shifting, one might not be. It just is a matter of what your car needs at that time, just because the lap time difference is very minimal between the two.
Denny in the back, Lane Castellante with CBS 6 here in Richmond. Is 45 laps last fall and whatever you get in practice here enough data to figure out what these tires might do over the course of 400 laps tomorrow night?
I'm not sure it's going to be quite enough. It'll be close. Last year we were able to, when you put on this type of tire, and again, it's not the same, and they actually harden the left side tire for some reason, but the right side tire, we don't know. I mean, it could last 40, 50 laps. It could be longer than that. We really don't know. And if you go out right away and try to run every single lap that you can, maybe you'll start to see some of that big wear and fall off. But last year we just had enough set of tires to just change them whenever the lap time started falling off. And we saw it at Watkins Glen as well. Really all the position changes happened right at the end, right before. And then, once they started changing, people pitted. So it's with us having less tires this time around, it's going to force you to go longer on them. And I just think that most of the passing will happen at the very end of those runs.
Denny back here also. Sean Robertson with CBS 6 in Richmond. It's been a long time since Richmond Raceway has only had one Cup Series race on their schedule. I want to get your thoughts about what does the city, or what can the city do to show NASCAR that they should have two races back on the schedule?
Yeah, I think that, I'm probably the worst person to ask. I'm obviously very biased. I grew up with two races here. We always went to both. But the sport's in a different place now. The way to get it back is you gotta come here and sell out, at least the one time that you are here, or at least have a really strong showing during that time. So that improves short track racing. If you can do those things with the car, then perhaps possibly that it's going to be put more in the forefront of the scheduling going forward as well. So I think all those things are all fluid things that could change year to year. And if we can obviously get our short track stuff back better towards where it was on with these types of cars, then I think you'll have a better case to having two races here.
Awesome. We'll bring the mic. Jordan, did you still have a question? Oh, okay, you're good. Okay, we'll bring it down to Bob and then Holly.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports, and you're assumed you studied film of this race from last year. Did you watch the last lap? And if so, did it bring back any sort of emotions? And if so, what were they?
Yes. It's just, it's disappointing from my standpoint. But I wasn't going to win the race anyway had it not. It's like I had about a 1 second period where I was supposed to win, and the other time I was not. So, it wasn't like the race that I had here in 08 where we led the entire race and then you don't end up winning. Those are a little bit harder than the ones where it's like, I'm going to win. Oh, no, I'm not. Right? So, yeah, it's just wild. It's wild how it all turned out when you kind of hear all the radio back. Now looking back on it, it was just a wild moment.
Hi, Denny. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service, and that kind of feeds right into where I was going, and that is with two races left to kind of settle this whole thing. Do you expect the intensity and the craziness, for lack of a better word, to increase, or do you think at this point everything is so high intense anyway that it's not noticeable that, hey, the playoffs are coming, I've still got to get a spot?
Yeah, I don't really see a big change. This is not really a big fashion-forward track when it comes to strategy. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, especially with the amount of tires that we've got. So I don't really notice a big change in intensity. So I mean, more desperation, perhaps. I mean, maybe someone that's been mid-pack is swinging for the fences with their setup, trying something just totally out of the box, hoping to hit something. But other than that, I can't really pinpoint to anything, except for at the end of races. Obviously, there's always going to be chatter when you're racing around those that have to win to get into the playoffs at this point of the season. You just know that those group of drivers are going to be more intense around you and make more aggressive moves and put you in pretty tough spots. And so that's where it really changes, is those late race restarts where that's their last and only attempt.
Denny, Luken from Frontstretch.com. Thank you for your time. A comment was made by Kyle Petty this week that we race NASCARs, not stock cars. And I know you talked about earlier this week on your podcast that we have a fundamental problem with the next-gen car. What is your response kind of to that take from Kyle based on what you've been talking about in recent weeks?
I mean, he's right in that sense. Certainly that, it's not a stock car, talking about, I definitely heard him talk about, we used to just bring a car off the street and turn it into a race car. Obviously, those days have been gone for decades now. So he's definitely partially right. What the difference is that, to address kind of we've had exciting moments in this car, and I don't disagree with that. The issue is that it happened early in the next-gen era where there was so much disparity between the fast cars and the slower cars. Now, everyone over time, since there's been no development for years and years now, nothing's really changed. The field has just tightened up. You can see it from the fastest to the slowest. The first time here in the next-gen was on average lap time, 7/10, somewhere in that range. And last time we came here, it's 3.5. The field's just now running the same speed. And at a track where you have to have at least 2.5 to 3/10 of speed to overtake the car in front of you, that means that the first place fastest car is going to struggle to pass the 25th if he just gets put behind him. So that's the fundamental part that is going to be tough for us to kind of overcome, unless we have some major changes, or, with the tire, we're working on that. Goodyear's working on that. We're coming here with a more aggressive tire. You got to applaud that they're willing to do it, and it came from trying it last year. But beyond that, we got to fix the attitude. I've said it a million times on my podcast, getting rid of the underbody downforce and putting it on the overbody, so you have the ability, like you do in the Xfinity Series, to drive up behind someone and get them off the bottom. That's where that's when running the same speed will be okay, because you can at least get close to the car in front of you to get them, to manipulate them and slow them down. Where right now the leader has the 100% advantage over the second place car. Xfinity, it's a little bit more even, more 50-50.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Frontstretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Frontstretch fans can use promo code Frontstretch to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay rewarded.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.